NTV Wild Talk in partnership with the Kenya Wildlife Service and Wildlife Direct.
Hello and welcome to NTV Wild Talk with me, Smriti Vidyarthi. Today we're coming to you from the base of the magnificent Mount Kilimanjaro here in the Amboseli National Park in the county of Kajiado. And this episode has been made possible thanks to the Oltakai Lodge that's accommodating us. Now in the background you can't quite see the mountain because it is overcast, but what we can see is a magnificent herd of elephants. And they are why we're here. The Amboseli National Park is home to a variety of animals, from lions to grazers to the hippopotamus. But it is best known for its herds of elephant, magnificent in both character and numbers. The families and individuals, all named, roam the land with the impressive Mount Kilimanjaro towering in the backdrop. The African elephant is a complex yet fascinating species, and much of what we know today about it is based on studies by the Amboseli Trust for Elephants. Nestled amongst the palms is the Elephant Research Camp, which is pretty much home to founder Cynthia Moss, research assistants Nora Njiraini and Katito Sayalel, and resident scientist Vicky Fishlock. Started in 1972, Cynthia and a colleague wanted to study individual elephants and gather baseline data on the biology of a natural population. They identified the various families based on their appearance and named them using the alphabet, and today, research assistants Nora and Katito know the names of every single elephant in the whole of Amboseli and everything about them. I headed out on a safari with them to learn all about the magical Amboseli elephants.
The weather is beautiful, eh?
We are now in the middle of the Amboseli National Park. The sun is shining. We are surrounded by a beautiful herd of elephants, and Mount Kilimanjaro has peeped out of the clouds saying hello, so it really is a perfect morning. Now we do have to be a little bit careful because these elephants, of course, don't like very much noise. Katito and Nora, you are experts. You are assistant researchers and have been doing this for years. Tell us first, who is this family?
Okay, here we have fragments of AA family, and closest to us is Anne.
This is Anne behind us?
Behind us.
Wow.
Yeah, she is coming to say hello to us because they know our vehicle so well, and they know us, our smell, our voices.
So you say this is the AA family.
AA family.
Explain that to us. How do we know this is the AA and what does that mean?
We have 53 family units in Amboseli population. So we have families from AA family, and when talking about AA family, we have all of them, they have names started by A, letter A. No, that's why we have here, we have Anne, we have Amelia, we have Anne Harriet, and we have Alfie. So it's not all the members of the families here. We have the matriarch of AA's family. The leader of AA family is Amelia. She is there in front of there, leading the family. As you can see them, they are just eating slowly, heading to the swamp. And I'm double sure they are talking to the member of the family.
Really?
Yeah, they do, calling them, know where we are here.
Oh,
And
wow.
Amelia, as the leader, is the one who's just telling everybody what's happening.
Wow, that really is amazing. They are communicating. Katito, do elephants often spend time in family circles? Because as Nora said, this is one family unit.
Yeah, they do spend time all together, especially the females. Because when a male reaches 14 to 15 years, he leaves the family and join a bachelor group of males. That's why you see one male by himself or two male by themselves. But families, sisters, cousin, aunt, they stay together until the rest of their life.
Wow, so that is real sisterhood and girl power.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So in case if you find maybe you find a male here, because it's young male, maybe under 10, under 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really are just so magnificent to watch, and you spend a lot of your time, both of you, throughout the day watching these elephants. Nora, what is it that's so special about elephants for you?
They are my friend. That's the first part, to say they are special. And elephants, they have their personalities. And I can see elephants, they are just like human beings, their behavior. And I stayed with elephants about 30 years with them. So I know them so well, their behavior. They are very intelligent animals, very proud animals. They hate noises. And after staying with them for a long time, we know how they like and what they dislike, their likes. So we try so much to make them to be happy. First of all, they hate so much being approached from the back. And we approach them by just approaching them, driving in front of them, and let them come to us and switch off the engine. Otherwise, when harassing them, they'll never forget. Elephants, they have very good memories.
Really? Wow. So that saying, an elephant never forgets, really is true. They don't forget.
Never forget.
You know, Katito, you have also spent years studying elephants. What is it that's remarkable about them for you?
I remember when I started doing this project, I had a very sharp voice and I was so excited when I was looking at them. So then I talk loud and then you see them, they all disappear and go and say, oh my God, what did I do, something wrong? And then you see them, they again, all the time I've been like talking. I never gave up to talk because I love the job I'm doing. All the time I keep on talking. So they get used to my voice.
Sure.
Yeah, whenever I shout now, they don't even run away. But you see, the way us we're shouting and talking, somebody else, they could be just like, you see, ears up, looking, and just scary and all the way. So, yeah, and also they have their own personality.
I can imagine, just like human beings, but some people argue that perhaps elephants are actually better than human beings. They're more friendly and more polite and more respectable.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it is very true, because you see elephants, like you see, for example, let me give you an example of human being. You have your child, and we've been seeing how people treating their child. Her mother can even beat her daughter to death. An elephant cannot. Elephant, they are better than us.
Wow.
I'm sorry to say this because I'm a human being, but the way you see, they just protect. I have a female myself. I saw her. Nora, she was in Nairobi. She gave birth because they start to come in estrus when they are 9 years. And then they give birth. The gestation period of carrying the baby in the stomach, 2 years. She gave birth. All for bad luck, she was called Kitty. For bad luck, the family left, and she didn't have an experience how she can handle the calf. So she was there, and then the baby was okay, because when I found her, the baby was like 3 hours old, just very new baby.
Wow.
And for bad luck, she didn't have an experience what to do. So she put the baby into the water. And the time she was trying to get the baby, grabbing the baby from the water, she didn't know what to do. So what she was doing, she was trying all her best to get out the baby, because the baby was suffocating in the water. So first of all, she was sitting on the baby because she didn't have an experience. Because normally what they have to do, they have to have the grandmother and the rest of the family to help her how to treat the baby. So, and what I did, I called the KWS and to help us to come and try to chase her away so we can get into the river and get the baby out. She didn't let us. She was seriously charging us So you see, she didn't, because she was thinking us, we are taking our baby away. So we managed, we chased her with bullets to scare her. And then finally we managed to get the baby out.
That motherly love really is something, and we can actually see in the distance that there is a little baby there as well, yeah, resting in the bushes. But you know, you talked about, of course, how elephants are emotional. Let's talk about their intelligence as well. They are very smart elephants. Like you said, Nora, they will never forget. But tell us more about really how intelligent these guys are.
Somewhere they're being poached, they can remember that their enemies is human being by shooting them, using the car, using the gun. So like that's why in Amboseli they don't know about being poached. So other parks like in Savo, when approaching an elephant, you approach an elephant is to it will just take off. The enemies they know in Amboseli a little bit there earlier before. They were not a friend with the community. Because we're using their area, the community they were just getting mad and just spear them.
Yeah, human-elephant conflict.
Before we had that problem. So Amboseli elephants, they can remember their enemies is Maasai, the men, when they hear the men voices. So they know they are the ones who were spearing them. Because what the Maasai were doing, they were just smear them with ochre. Yeah. And when spearing them, when they're talking, they can hear that men voices. So that's why we can say that sometimes they don't like men voices. Wow. But nowadays it's okay, no problem. We don't have that problem anymore.
Well, I'm just looking at their activity now. What exactly are they doing?
Feeding, like now, okay, they do elephants, they eat everything.
Really? Everything?
Yeah, everything, they eat everything. And now what's happened there, that's who is that Katito, Anne?
Anne and her, okay, this is Anne.
And
her daughter and her granddaughter.
So her granddaughter is the little baby that's right now sleeping.
Yeah,
in the
that is her Alif, that is her
yeah.
first baby.
Yeah.
So she doesn't. She has to take care of her, and she doesn't have to. He has to not to leave her. Mm-hmm. And what they are doing, like you see, the way they are feeding, they're kicking grass and move the dust. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that they can feed. And the matriarch cannot leave them. The matriarch, she's ahead of them, farther away, Amelia, so she has to wait. And if she's really ready to move, that this is what we call contact call and contact answer. She has to rumble, and then you all listen to her and go. It is like a traffic. There's like a traffic jam in Nairobi. You see, when the light stop, even them, they all stop and they wait, and they have to listen to her. Yeah.
And elephants, they have very good hearing.
Really? Well, they have huge ears.
Very good hearing. Anyway, the ears is just when they're flapping ear like that, is cooling their body.
That's why they're so...
They have ears like us. You see the hole?
Oh,
you see where the ear is? There's a hole in front of the big...
So actually, where they hear from is just the same size as our ears.
Exactly. But they have very poor sight.
Really?
And good smell. Yeah, so most of the time they don't use the sight because it's very poor. They use the hearing and the smelling.
Well, I do often sometimes see elephants lifting up their trunk, you know, and putting it towards someone, and that's because they're smelling.
Because they can't see far, so they use the smelling and hearing. It's very good.
And now how you see the calf is lying down. They don't have to wake the calf. They have to wait for the calf to. When the ready is ready, the calf to move. And also, a young calf like this, when the mother gives birth, there's this what we call alone mothers. They take care of the calf. And what the calf do, just go and suckle to the mother and back, like what we normally say, we hire house girl to take care of the baby when you go to work. They have to wait for the calf. But if they really want to go, what they do, they just go and touch the baby a little bit. Are you ready? Wake up, please. And sometimes what they do, they kick. No, I don't want. And you see, like, just do that. Like the calf, the human baby calf doesn't want to get up. Just do like this. So even see that, just put their trunk like this. Yeah, so
that's
they don't.
Just like any human being. I mean, a mother wouldn't wake up her baby from its
No.
slumber.
Yeah, just wait to sleep.
Enough rest.
Yeah.
And how old is that little baby, do you think?
3 months.
And
It's 3 months.
how can you tell that?
The ears are pinkish, so you can say that is like less than a week. And also, you know, they have umbilical cord, like a human being baby, the umbilical cord go away after 7 days. Yeah, and also you look how if the calf is still wobbly, you can estimate the age within the days.
And
yeah.
what about with bigger elephants that have perhaps become adolescents or much older? How can you gauge their age?
You look at the size of the body and also the size of the tusk. Male, they have overhead, and the female, they have like box head. So you see the part of the female, like they suckle, like the way also as when we start aging, when you get old, you see this part of the face just sink in. Even the elephant, they are like that. So you use a lot of things, and also you can say an elephant can have 8 calves. Lifespan 8 to 9 for her lifespan. So you see for the female, you see the body start to suck and the belly hang down. So you have to look like, for example, like human beings. So if you look at her, she's still young, and also the back length, you see, it's not sucked in, it's still straight. So others, you look like a really bent. So that's how, and also you use the size of the tusk and the circumference of the tusk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, so that's how you can tell. And Nora, you know, as we watch these elephants feed on the grass, they're using their trunks. What else do they use their trunks for?
Drinking. They use their trunk by drinking.
Oh, the baby's
it's up
woken
now. The baby is up.
Oh, and what's the baby's name, did you say? Does it have a
We
name?
do name them after 3 years so that we make sure they are going to survive instead of misusing the names.
Okay, I get it. Oh, well, they are walking away now, but before we perhaps try and follow them, you were mentioning what else they use their trunks for. Of course, drinking.
Drinking and eating,
Okay.
feeding, they use the trunk because they cut the whatever, maybe branches or the grass and put in the mouth.
And of course, it
And
must
a lot
be
of
very,
people, a lot
very
of people,
strong.
they think that it's very strong. By the way, it's very strong. Can you imagine drinking? I think one just when pulling the water is about 5 liters.
Really?
And put in the mouth.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So anyway, a lot of people, when they don't know elephant, they think they use their trunk to feed, or like the calf when they are suckling, they think they use their trunk, but they use the mouth.
Well, they are sort of getting out of our sight now, so I think we will actually see if we can follow them. But really, just watching these magnificent creatures here in the Amboseli, it's been incredible. Where are they moving to, perhaps?
They're heading to the swamp.
The swamp.
Now they'll be in the swamp, feeding and drinking in the swamp, in the marsh. Yeah, that's where they're heading. And did you realize that behavior? They waited until the calf get up.
That's when they move on.
Yeah, and you see the matriarch was waiting. The matriarch was waiting, and they waited, and the calf get up. Now they said, now let's go. And they have this communication, as Katito said, that's how they communicate. And a lot of people think it's their belly making that noise. It's communication, the rumble, and they are different, and they know so well. They know, they know what they communicate. When calling, when making a decision, the matriarch have to make a decision. We also have a contact call. How do you differentiate contact call and contact answer? When there's no food, they split in small group. So you see, because they have very good hearing, there are those sound below our hearing, the one we can get it from the machine, and those below our hearing sounds, they go far than the one we can hear. Wow. They can move far distance, even 15 kilometers, and they can hear it so well. So contact answer, you see the member of the family will call. One of the members of the family, and you see she'll raise at the head and put the ears out and listen and swing both sides and listen. And the other member of the family will answer and just soft one and continue to whatever she was doing. And at the end of the day, they'll come together, and that's the place I love so much. Yeah. I get like, sometimes I even shed tears when I see this. The love they have, the elephants. They come together with slumbering and spinning around and defecating, urinating with head, eye. Really? And that's the time we see, there's a gland of the elephant between the ear and the eye, and they get that secretion. Yeah. So the female, they get the secretion when they are excited, when they are sad. So that's the time they have the secretion. And you see now, all of them, they have the secretion because they are excited. It's like the way you have not seen your sister for many years. When you come together.
Happy tears.
Tears of joy.
Yes.
They do that.
That is true.
And they do that when they're related. When they are related, they do that. But they are not related, they just come.
Yeah.
Elephants, I see you say that they're like people, they're those boring. When they come together, they're like, where have you been? What have you been? But they're those ones, they like each other so much.
Yeah.
Like, they're those ones, we just talk about them, they are talkative.
Right.
When they come together, they scream and
Well,
get
certainly-
happy, get so excited.
Certainly, as human
Yeah.
beings, we need to be more
Exactly.
like elephants.
Exactly.
We need
They
to
are like
spread-
human beings.
We need to spread the love.
Do you
All
know
right.
even a female, when a cow being treated, sometimes the females have to be dirted so that you get to the baby.
Oh.
You can't get the baby of an elephant.
Gosh.
Yeah, even if you're being treated, if there's a problem.
Fantastic. Well, I think we do need to follow them and just get a sense of what they're doing now. But of course, this is NTV Wild Talk. We are taking a breather. Remember, this show has been made possible thanks to the Altokai Lodge that's accommodating us. We are in the wonderful Amboseli National Park. We're taking a break, but first, here's our wild guess question.
How do you estimate the age of a living elephant? How do you estimate the age of a living elephant? Use the hashtag NTV Wild on Twitter or like our NTV Wild Facebook page and post your answer on the timeline. Private messages won't be considered. The first person to answer correctly wins 2 nights for 2 at the lovely self-catering Kibo Guest House overlooking Mount Kilimanjaro, plus free entry for 2 people and 1 vehicle into the spectacular Amboseli National Park. The winner also gets 1 bottle of wine courtesy of Wines of the World and a gift hamper courtesy of Wildlife Direct. Terms and conditions apply. Last week's lucky winner was Sophie Ndungi.
Welcome back to NTV Wild Talk with me, Smriti Vidyarthi, coming to you from the Amboseli National Park. Here's a reminder of our wild guess question.
How do you estimate the age of a living elephant? How do you estimate the age of a living elephant? Use the hashtag NTV Wild on Twitter or like our NTV Wild Facebook page and post your answer on the timeline. Private messages won't be considered. The first person to answer correctly wins 2 nights for 2 at the lovely self-catering Kibo Guest House overlooking Mount Kilimanjaro, plus free entry for 2 people and 1 vehicle into the spectacular Amboseli National Park. The winner also gets 1 bottle of wine courtesy of Wines of the World and a gift hamper courtesy of Wildlife Direct. Terms and conditions apply. Last week's lucky winner was Sophie Ndungi.
So we've actually made it to the swamp before this AA family herd of elephants. It has taken them a bit of time to get here, no doubt. I mean, as I said, they are huge creatures. Katito, how much do these guys weigh?
An adult bull weighs 7 tons.
Wow.
And the female weighs 6 tons. And yeah, so you see, and also you cannot even hear how they move and how big they are. Even if they are running, you cannot even feel it. Like they walk smoothly.
It's
and also
so
running.
incredible because they're huge, but you cannot even hear their footsteps. Even when we were listening earlier, there was just silence. It was incredible. And what about the little guys? They're so adorable. How much do the babies weigh?
Okay, when they are born, born with 90 kilos or 100 kilos. It depends on the size of, like her, like when, because
It's
I think
huge.
that is the baby is 3 months old,
Yeah.
and like against the baby now weigh like how many kilos? 250?
Yeah.
250.
Oh my.
250. And the human being weigh 75, 100.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh my. And you know, now that they're a little bit closer, I can see their skin. It really does look very rough and grey and tough as well. But in fact, elephant skin is quite sensitive. We've seen at the David Sheldrick's Wildlife Trust that they put blankets on the baby elephants and even sun cream on their ears because they can get sunburnt.
Even you touch them, because we've been rescued baby taken
Yes.
to the orphanage.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you touch it, they're very rough and hairy too.
Oh wow, but of course still sensitive skin, which is interesting because it does certainly look so rough and tough. So Nora, now the elephants are getting to the swamp and they're about to drink. How far do they walk throughout the day? Because we saw them when they were resting far away, meters away, and now they've come here and no doubt later they will progress.
They do move about even over 15 kilometers.
Uh-huh.
But now I'm talking about families.
Okay.
They don't go far, not like males. The males, they do go far, but females, they don't go far because of the young ones. They can go in a distance. So they go about 15 to 20 kilometers. And simply because to go and get different kind of food.
Yeah.
Because elephants eat everything. So they eat different vegetation outside the park. And when they come in, they walk in the swamp so that they have grass in the swamp, in soft breezes in the swamp, and also drinking.
You know, elephants are also crucial to the ecosystem and to the landscapes and biodiversity as well. Their tusks are crucial. Of course, we know that elephants are hugely threatened because of their tusks. Poachers are after them. We know that they are sort of the teeth of the elephant. Katito, how important are they?
First of all, the calves start to have tusks when they are you start to see like small toothpick coming out when they are 2 years and a half. That's the time you see. And also use a lot for a lot of stuff. Like they use for, like when a female give birth, you know, the calf cover with a sack, they use the tusk for removing and open the calf.
Really? Like
Yeah,
the
so
amniotic sac?
Exactly, that's how they do. And also they use also tusk for digging. And also male, they use the tusk for like when a male is in mass sexually active, they use the tusk and also push the tree, knock the tree down to attract the female to come and feed, if there's a female in distress. So they have a lot of things for using the tusk too.
And of course their tusks therefore are so critical to them, but these animals are butchered and killed for those tusks. You know, I love elephants, clearly you do too, and so many other people do, but there are a lot of people that perhaps don't understand why they should fall in love with elephants. They are very, very critical species, but at the same time, many communities, especially here in Kajiado, face the problem of human-wildlife conflict. So, Nora, how do you convert somebody's vision of an elephant when they have perhaps lost a family member because of human-wildlife conflict? How can you make a community member love an elephant the same way you do?
First of all, how to make them to love the elephants, just to educate them and let them know the importance of the elephants. Let them know elephants, they need their lives as we do, by educating them the behavior of the elephants. That's the first thing to make them love the elephants. Because a lot of people, they just look at the elephants, it's just animals, just elephants. But as soon you understand their behavior, you'll have that love and understand they are just like human beings. They just need their life the way we need our life.
Are elephants important to the Maasai community? Do they have some sort of cultural belief about elephants? Is there a connection?
First of all, they believe to kill an elephant will be bad luck.
Ah, really?
Yeah, they believe that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they know elephants, they are something to them. And as we said, just like people, they know that so well. You see, even Maasai, when they just walking on their way, maybe hard, they find a carcass, the skull.
Yes.
They just put the grass that's for good luck.
So not only are elephants important, you know, for many different reasons, economic value, of course, because they bring in tourists, which of course boosts the economy, but for cultural reasons and also biodiversity, as we discussed. You know, when we talk about elephants and their social behavior, let's talk about the threats. What are the biggest threats, other than poachers, of course, to elephants? Katito.
What the threat they have when a calf be attacked, when the female give birth, and the hyenas trying to attack them. So we have few elephants, they have short tail, because when the hyenas try to attack, they get the tail, but not quite a lot, because you know they all the time when they give birth, they are there. What I saw only during the drought season in 2009, that time we had a terrible drought. Not only elephant, a lot of species of animals. We saw one calf was like about 7 years old, but the mother was dead. So the lions are trying to attack them, and they got like 5 lions. They got attack them, but the family were not there. So from my experience, what I know, they don't have big scavengers. No threat for them. Yeah.
These elephants are really, really fabulous and exciting to watch. And earlier we talked about how they celebrate each other and they celebrate life and they celebrate families coming together. But they also mourn, don't they? Elephants also mourn the loss of their loved ones.
What they do when they find the carcass, first of all, they just throw the bones, take the bones and throw them away, just throw them.
Really?
And when doing that is something very serious. They don't do that for fun. And they go to the skull and start turning the skull, smelling, and see them just with the hair low and ears like forward.
Yeah.
And just, you can tell they are mourning, and you see them just lying there with the trunk down and having the table grad secretion I was talking about.
Yes, and that of course represents joy but also sadness,
The
as
sadness,
you said.
the sadness. But now the difference of the secretion of the mast male and the female, for the females, when it gets dry, few hours. When they have it, when they're excited, so it get dry in a few hours. But for the mast male, will stay there until he finishes the mast, even if it's 3 months.
You know, now I can see the elephants are entering into the swamp and it's beautiful to watch. How is the baby going to manage? Because I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, well, okay, the calf will follow the mother and will be just swimming. Because because this swamp is so deep. So they go to the marsh, and the mother will be just feeding the marsh, and the calf will be there behind the mother, and the mother will making sure with the tail, and the calf is there.
Oh,
touching
wow.
the calf must be there.
And this herd, of course, has no males in it, Katito, except perhaps the babies may be males. You mentioned earlier that the males leave the herd when they're adolescents. Do they ever come back, and do they just lead a solitary life?
They do join, feed with them for a while and then go. And also we have the young male under 15 years. Like we have like the young one is a male, and also they join even and when they're in mast. And if there is a female in distress, means sexually active, you see a lot of male in that family, and there is one male guide the female. And also we have this one we call the scavengers, just try to mate and run away. But normally the female prefer to be guided with a full proper mast male, because this one there's just scavengers just mating. So they join, feed for a while and leave. And also there is what we call mama's boy. There was a male was called Stuart from SB family. He left the family when he was 18 years. He didn't want to leave the family. And also because, as Nora said, the female don't travel far away because of the young ones. And they know where to go and look for food, because of they normally like to protect the calf. That man, he didn't want to leave the family. So what happened, what they did, normally as the mother didn't want to chase his son away, but the members of the family and cousin, they decided to chase him away.
Oh no.
Yeah, so he didn't want to leave, but he has to go. And also the other thing is, As I said, this young one, we have what we call a low mother, take care of the calves. Male, you know how male are naughty. They don't know how to take care of the calves, so they just kick. So when it is that time, they start to, no, you are not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And also the young female, they try to protect. So it reaches at a certain time, they don't want to leave, but they have to leave. They have to be chased away.
The males, they never stop growing. They keep it growing the rest of their life. And the females, when they reach the age of 55 years, they stop growing.
Okay. And what is the lifespan of an elephant?
65 to 70.
So again, you know, similar to human beings.
Yeah.
And by the way, elephants, they do die because of the teeth. They have the last set of the teeth, and they die because of starvation, because they don't eat everything when they have the last set of the teeth. So if elephants, they do have dentists, they could live longer.
That's so funny. Watching these elephants head into the swamp, as I keep saying, it is a beautiful sight, and they are getting deeper and deeper in there. You know, Katito, when you hear about incidents of poaching around the country, perhaps not in Amboseli, how does it make you feel?
I feel terrible. Yeah. Sometimes even you see, like, you find you see something like that. Oh, here you feel like, why do they have to kill just because of ivory? And in Amboseli is much better, because when an elephant, because we do the census every day,
right.
So we know everybody make sure everybody is here. So if we do a census, because we do a census every day, if I miss one of the members of the family, as I say, female, sisters, cousin, and they stay together until the rest of their life. If I miss a day, maybe she was in stress, because sometimes they go in stress, but they have to come back later, because sometimes the male chase them away. And then we have to report and just say for KWS, we are missing this female. Like, we had a female was called Jemima. She was my favorite from the J-Base family.
Yeah.
She had an albino.
Oh, okay.
And we had 3 albino.
Really?
Very interesting. And both of them, they were males. And that female, all the time, she was with the family. All the time. She was called Jemima. And then I did the census. Second day, 3 days, no, she's not there. I had to report. And so she was poisoned. She was poisoned. But lucky, they would poison her. They were trying to attack her, but she got poisoned to take the task. But lucky, I reported immediately to KWS. And KWS, they said, do you know, because as we know where the home ranges for the elephant are, I said, that elephant come from east side.
Yeah.
So you can get, where we can get. And then they went, they found her and dead. And so sad, 2 calves were there.
Gosh.
A young one, the albino one, was just there, and lucky they took the task. So it is so sad when you feel like somebody tried to spear an elephant or poach the elephant to take ivory.
Yeah.
And also it's so good because, when an elephant broke his task, imagine grow again. Yeah. So they continue grow slowly by slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like, no, that is not good. Sometimes you see, like, I found an elephant die, I tear, I cry, and people think like, this woman, are you sure? Are you crying for a human being?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like for me, I lost a member of my family. I feel the same thing I feel to these elephants. Yeah.
Nora, what are some of your fondest memories in the last 30 years that you've worked? What are some of the crazy experiences that you've had with these elephants?
And in fact, I had one boyfriend, Ian.
Yeah.
An elephant, and he was killed in Tanzania.
Oh no.
In 1994, they went in Tanzania, and there was a hunting block in
Oh,
Tanzania,
gosh.
in the Gido area. And we lost 9 males, big, over 50 years.
Really?
So when I joined the project, my favorite, all of us, we have favorite elephants. So my favorite elephants, when I joined the elephants, the project was Ian.
Oh.
By the way, I named him after my son.
Oh,
I
how
was
nice.
So in love with him.
Oh, wow.
So Ian was so, I don't know what to say. He was so good at behaving like mass male, aggressive, just fighting with other males. And even when they're in mass, they have walking style.
Yes.
So Ian was having all this behavior.
Right.
So anyway, I was so sad when he was killed in Tanzania.
Yeah. Clearly you still love Ian, and you still love Jemima and all the rest as well. Yeah. All right, ladies, thank you so much. There's still so much more to discuss. And just remember that in part 2 of this show, which is next week, we're going to find out a lot more about these ladies. They've told us all about the elephants, but how did Nora get involved in this research project, and also Katito as well? They have some fascinating exciting stories. So do be sure to catch part 2 of this conversation next week. Ladies, thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing more from you. This is NTV Wild Talk. It is now time to shift focus. Here are some of the photos that you shared with us on our Wild Pick segment.
This is a photo of Noreen Mutoro taken at the Mount Kenya Wildlife Conservancy orphanage in Nanyuki. She was feeding a dik called Moto some acacia leaves and peanuts after her mother was killed in a fire in a nearby conservancy. Noreen was an intern at the orphanage. In the Masai Mara, this is Anthony Kamakia. He was holding up an elephant thigh bone and says that he wants to appeal to Kenyans to visit this magical place that is the Mara. Anthony Mwangi snapped this shot at the Hell's Gate in Naivasha. He was just taking a selfie and says he was enjoying nature and appreciating how great Kenya is. This is Kevin Chatambe and his tourism student Veronica Mathenge. They were in Lake Naivasha posing by the lake, and they say they were just visiting to see the hippos because of their great love for nature. And then there's Francis Kago at the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust. He was leading an orphaned elephant and interacting with it, and says he was a volunteer intern and says that elephants are the best animals. Well, if you want your photos showcased on our Wild Pick segment, just like our NTV Wild Facebook page and send your photos celebrating nature via private message. Include your full name, tell us where the photo was taken, what you were doing and why. You can also post your photo on Twitter using the hashtag NTVWild. Selected photos will be retweeted, shared on air and on our NTV Wild Facebook page.
And now here's what's coming up on the NTV Wild documentary series on Saturday night.
Once, a jewel in India's crown, left in ruins by 18 years of conflict. Today, Manas is back from the brink, an Eden reborn. But this paradise remains at risk. Old migration routes are blocked. But the rangers are determined to keep this place alive. Will they succeed? Or will this wonderland be lost forever?
So now you know pretty much everything you need to know about these amazing elephants behind me and across the world. They are so special but also so important, and the thought of poachers coming after them and killing populations for their tusks really does create a sense of anger and hurt. But there is hope thanks to women like Katito and Nora who dedicate their lives to researching and studying these elephants. In part 2 of this show next week, we'll be at the research camp to understand more about what happens there and how it benefits these incredible animals. That's it on NTV Wild Talk with me, Smriti Vidyarthi. Thanks for watching, and remember, this episode has been made possible thanks to the Altakai Lodge that accommodated us. We'll see you again next Tuesday, 10 p.m.
NTV Wild Talk in partnership with the Kenya Wildlife Service and Wildlife Direct.